Hello everyone, this is Ken Komet, your host for CondoVoice.com. The picture you see here is a picture of myself and Jeffrey Mangle of Gulf Coast Lakes and Wetlands, and the video that follows is a general discussion we had about one of the lakes that his company maintains. Just some general questions and answers about fish, wildlife, and habitat. I hope you enjoy.
Now, I've never seen a fish that I could eat, for example. I wouldn't want to eat a fish out of this lake, but let's say of any size in this lake. So is there any wildlife in this lake that we know of other than maybe snakes and minnows? Or
when I pulled up this morning,
yeah,
I seen about a 5 or 6 foot grass carp, I would say.
All right.
Pretty much every waterway is going to have some sort of wildlife.
Okay.
You'd be surprised what's down there that you don't see. Normally some good sized fish, especially in a pond about this size.
Okay, good. Okay. All right, so we've got, what'd you call that type of fish?
Grass carp.
Grass carp. What does that look like?
Well, without a picture in front of me,
yeah,
I can explain it as a...
Is it one of those long, that's a gar, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so a carp is like a tilapia?
A silvery fish that eats different vegetation. It's an herbivore. Grows up to 4 or 5 foot long.
Did God plant it there, or did somebody plant that fish in there?
It's a native species of South Florida. Yes, it is.
Okay, now I heard that some fish you can introduce into this to increase the health of the pond. What fishes would those be?
Tilapia is one of them. Tilapia and the grass carp that I mentioned.
Okay, and what do they do that's good for the lake?
They'll eat, different vegetations and stuff like that.
Okay.
Help control it.
Okay.
Obviously, maybe the one I seen today ain't doing his job, but.
All right, and what other wildlife would be in here? Now I've seen ducks, and I've seen snakes, and I know there's an alligator in the lake next to us over here, but I've never seen an alligator in here. What does the, describe to me how a pond is healthy. Is it healthy if it has a lot of fish, or if it doesn't have fish, do you, as part of your service for treating ponds, introduce fish? Do you stock lakes, and are fish part of the health process?
Sure. Well,
Okay.
as you mentioned, the carp, certain fish can be used as biological agents,
Okay.
to help control
Yep.
different submerged growth or algae, because that's where they feed on the herbivores. But for the most part, as far as, other than carp and the tilapia, there's not, the other fish are
bass
basic game
and
fish.
bluegill are all game fish.
So we'll stock them if a person, if recreational use, if they want to actually fish and they want some game fish in there that they can use, for those purposes, then we can certainly do that. And
All right.
that's the service we provide.
So the game fish, they really don't add to the health of the pond. They're just recreational only.
They don't help control algae,
Okay.
but they're part of the ecosystem.
Okay, and the grasses that are below the surface that we can't see right now, are those good or bad for the pond?
It depends.
What kind
There's
it is?
native species and there's exotic or invasive species.
Okay.
So in here there's some native, which isn't a problem. What it does is it helps uptake nutrients, helps keep the water clean.
Okay.
But there's others that don't have natural enemies. They're not native species.
Okay.
So what they'll do is they'll take over those native plants because they don't have those natural enemies to keep them at bay. And
Right.
that's what we use, different avenues, whether it's biological agents or different herbicides, to help keep those to a natural level to keep the homeostasis
Right.
of the environment.
And when you spray the copper sulfate, that doesn't affect, that leaves the good weeds alone, and it takes care of the bad guys, right?
Well, copper's an algicide.
Okay.
So it won't affect any of the vegetation as far as the plant life,
Okay.
only the different algae.
Good, good.